Now, should we be looking at each other like I'm facing this way? Like
I can't see you. Which way are you
I'm
facing?
facing screen. Like if you're looking at the screen, I'm facing to the right. Oh, I guess right and wait. If you're looking at the screen, I'm facing right. Oh, this is weird.
Maybe you have it mirrored. So if you're facing, uh-oh.
We are sponsored by hers.
Yeah,
It's
that's right.
his for hers.
If you're balding,
and you...
Is that what hers is? Is it just like a magic pill that you just...
No, it's actually Hims, and it's for men who have...
erectile dysfunction?
Yes, of the hair follicles.
Why? Oh, I see. So it's just for balding. I thought Hims was like a catch-all like pill.
Oh, just it makes you better?
It just
makes you
is
stronger.
Like any problem that a man is worried about, like their hair falling out,
My
their dick
penis
being
is
too small.
too big. You may be going, Daniels, what the... Oh, sick, I'm so angry. I don't even... What are you talking about? Daniels? Jack Daniels? Zach, I'm a recovering alcoholic. You just triggered me. I need a drink. Jimmy, what are you drinking? Oh, it's I'm rubbing myself with rubbing alcohol. Give it to me. I need it. No, it's not Jack Daniels. It's not Daniel the Tiger. No, it's two directors. You got Daniel Kwan, spelled Kwan. And then you got this guy, Daniel Scheinert.
Is that how you pronounce it?
No, that is his name. I want you to maybe... I always think, Sam, and I'm glad we're right next to each other so I can look at you in the face. I always think that you're, like, you know more. You know, you seem like you have a good shoulder. And then I realize, no, you're just me, but with more fiery confidence. Which doesn't...
No,
yes! I think you know things. I mean, you know how to color correct.
I don't even know how to color correct.
What are you talking about? Of course you do. I mean,
I do, but I don't. I'm not doing it the way that I should. Like, I feel like I'm not...
Yeah, Sam, you're a very good colorist. I've seen you do your work. This is a true statement. And I should have been saying this more often to you back in New York.
Well, I don't know. I feel like I don't know everything. There's so many things I don't know.
Scheinert. Daniel Scheinert.
Yeah.
Scheinert. Daniel Scheinert. Daniel Scheinert.
Oh my God. Let me just look this up.
Daniel Scheinert. Daniel Scheinert. We got it. All right?
Wait,
it's Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. See, we're not going to even get past our first video without being flagged for something like...
Here, I'm gonna...
Scheinert. I got the pronunciation.
1 sec.
The weirdo who did this said Daniel Scheinert.
Scheinert. It's Scheinert.
Daniel Scheinert.
It's Scheinert. You're adding two N's for
That's not
some
me.
reason.
That's the video.
No. You're saying Daniel Scheinert, or you're saying like Daniel Scheinert. It's Daniel Scheinert.
It's Daniel
Scheinert.
It's Daniel Scheinert. Kwan, and that's Kwan. Kwan.
And Daniel Scheinert. Okay, so those are the two.
Yes, the Daniels.
So moving on, they did
They are
everything everywhere all at once.
Yes.
I know for a fact they were music video directors before this.
Yes. Now, do you know what?
And
Do you know what music videos they directed?
I know the most famous one is Turn Down for What?
What is Turn Down for What, the one where they're in the pool?
No, Turn Down for What is where it's the guy who just repeatedly crashes through each floor. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Then I do not know this.
Oh my dill. So it's just this slightly chubby dude, basically, like, whenever the beat drops, like, Turn Down for What, the guy just, like, jumps and, like, does a body slam into the floor.
I have seen this
and
video.
then falls into but then he, like, repeatedly keeps falling into the floor below and below and below. Their whole thing is it's really funny, obscure ideas.
Something I noticed with the Daniels, from the very beginning, they meshed emotion with comedy. And the one I'm referring to, and the thing that actually made me almost cry, is I didn't know they directed the music video "The Shins," a simple song.
Yeah.
Here's what it looks like. And it's very Daniels. Now that I've seen 2 of their major pictures, I now know what the Daniels look is. And I'm a fan. And I hope, I should be saving this for the end, but I hope for their success, their continued success.
They really blasted off, though, very quickly in the music video world. Like,
Yeah,
they started 2009.
2009.
They graduated. Well, they graduated from Emerson in 2010. They very quickly started making music videos. They made a music video for Foster the People called Houdini, which is like a pretty funny concept.
No, I just watched it. Oh, sorry. You go.
Oh, it's just a funny idea. It's just like immediately the band all dies, and then they have a show that they need to put on, and so they basically, the whole thing is like them coming up with ways to make their dead bodies seem lifeless.
It's really, honestly, if I had to rank the 5 things I've seen of theirs, 2 movies, 1 Adult Swim thing, which I'll talk about, and then the 2 music videos, I would put the Houdini video above Everywhere at Once. Because it made me laugh. Timing-wise, it was perfect. And that's the thing about a music video. You have to work in the constraint of another artist. The Daniels didn't write Houdini. They were just being like, give us something to be funny about. And then they're like, what if you die at the very beginning? That's hilarious. And then there's like some like mob boss guy who doesn't talk at all. Like, that's perfect. I understand.
Tell me about the Adult Swim video.
This infomercial, an actual infomercial called the broom shakalaka. And it's this guy, this kind of dumpy, balding guy selling this broom shakalaka that can do anything, but in a very Adult Swim type fashion. Like, within 2 minutes, he cuts his own hand off and starts bleeding. And then throughout the whole thing, it's like 10 minutes long. He's peppering in like, and if you like give in money now, you might be able to get a broom shakalaka so you can sweep up after your daughter. The one, I don't have. And they pepper in about how he lost his daughter. It's these little things that you are like, that was a funny YouTube video. And then you find out like some guy who now has an Oscar is directing it. For example, I'm sorry I'm rambling, but you're editing this video. There's this guy named Jeff Loveness.
Let's talk about the 2 feature films. Swiss Army Man, Everything Everywhere All at Once. And part of the thing that makes this show great is Zach and I remain undecided about basically everything. And I loved the most recent movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, that got all the accolades. I thought it was an exquisite film.
Now, you and I, Sam, actually watched it together with a dear friend of
We
ours,
watched together. I cried at the end.
You did.
I said, this is an incredible movie. Before there was any hype whatsoever, I was like, I'm crying. This movie is incredible. It makes me want to call my mom.
You probably did.
And Zach, I did. And then I remember Zach left the movie, and he was unamused.
Yes. I immediately told Nick and Sam were up ahead, and I could tell that they were in fervor. They were like, that was amazing. I actually did see, Sam, a little glisten under your eye where tears had formed. I'm not even joking. I did notice that the movie moved you, and I was debating if I should say anything, but we do run a film podcast, or did. So I had to say something, and
It's a radio show.
radio show. I thought it was good, which basically equates to I hated it. in the discord of film, I liked it. I just thought it went on and on. There were several points where I'm like, it could end now. And now,
what was the first point?
The first point is, and honestly, okay, the first point was when where the bad guy won, I think. I forget her name or their name, but like they're under a bridge, and I felt like, I don't know, and it was actually a low point in the movie, like like it was a kind of a sad moment. But she's like, yeah, I realize I don't love you. For some reason, I thought that it could have maybe ended sad or just like could have wrapped it up a little like right afterwards. And then the second time I thought it could have ended was when it was this happy uplift where Ratatouille, like she has the Ratatouille. And then they're talking like as rocks. And it just keeps going and going, and now they have to fight each other by like basically jacking each other. Like, what was it? Like they had to kiss each other at the very end. Everybody had to get kissed.
No, yeah, she basically like changed everybody's life by like giving them something. Like fixed their knee, like did something like really kind to every single one of them.
Yeah, I just felt like you could have squished that a little. You could have taken out one part and put that part in, because I thought that was cute.
Okay. So Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Why do you like
disagree. I like it because.
Why do you love it?
I love it because. First off, went in completely blind, knew nothing about it. Best way to watch a movie. Completely blind, went in.
It's hard.
There's something about, I think it was also a very emotional period in my life where I was very emotional and very, dare I say it, depressed. And I was feeling overwhelmed, and I was feeling my thoughts were spiraling in a pretty sporadic way, and basically that movie starts off as like a weird kind of family drama, but it's going a bit quick, and I'm like, okay, things are going quick in the beginning where they're just like, it's going perfectly paced where it's like it's just doing things very quickly. And then it turns into a kung fu movie, and I'm like, this kind of fucking rolls. And then it turns into a sci-fi movie,
like a Matrix-esque, like
and
post-apocalyptic.
Like, what is this movie? And by the time I'm like thinking about this movie is all over the place, I start to realize the only way to really explain something like this is sometimes everything, like you just have to show it through everything. And like the scene that I'll always remember was like the scene that like really hit me was whenever Michelle Yeoh's character, like it cuts to all of the different, like she screams and it cuts to all of the different faces of her in all the different universes. That's when I started crying, because I was like, it's just like it's all her. Like it's just all of the choices she could have made. It's still her. Every single time like there was a change or like something, I was just like, it. This seems important. Like it's every time. And then when Michelle Yeoh's character comes out and talks to the daughter, who I forget her name, the actress's name.
I think she's kind of big in the stand-up world.
She's also big, and she was in Marvelous Miss Maisel. Anyways, she basically says to her daughter, like, I still don't approve of you really dating this person, but and you have to respect, like, it's almost like nothing
happens.
Really
Nothing changed. Except for maybe a little bit more approval of like, you are my daughter. So
why do you like Swiss Army Man?
Now, I actually, on my initial watch of that, I loved that movie because much like what you had for Everything Everywhere at Once, I had never experienced a movie like this. I've seen my fair share of weird movies, but I've never seen something like this. And I actually did not go in blind. I heard bad reviews of it. I heard that it was I'm like, why? How could someone like Paul Dano? Really, I thought, why would Paul Dano sign on to a movie where the main character is a farting corpse? And mind you, like, he farts throughout the whole movie. And that, to me, I love farting jokes. I really do. But you got to have a little something about farting in high-class movies. It weirds me out. It's got to be like kind of South Park kind of level of that, like, and then like a long, loud fart to be good. But if it's like like you're trying to be highbrow and it's like a little fart and it's realistic, it puts me off. It's unnerving. Anyways. So I was a little skeptical going in, and immediately, maybe it was where I was in life. I was in college. I forget when it came out. I want to say 2015. But the whole movie is just this kind of this play of Paul Dano trying to kill himself, failing to kill himself, and then I think he tries to kill him. I've only seen it once, all the way in 2015. And I think he tries to kill himself again, and I think it was like in a funny way, and then he finds Daniel Radcliffe as this dead
Well, that happens extremely early in the movie.
Very early. Like, it's almost like a skit. Like an Adult Swim skit where someone's doing something, and then it just immediately, the action to the whole thing appears. And it's Daniel Radcliffe, and then you think it's going to be this funny movie, but it like rips your heart apart about like, oh, this guy, he's a guy who's lonely. He's like, he failed with this girl. Like, he messed up. And then you start realizing, wait a second, he was never on an island. He's the bad guy. Like, it's like the memento, like, not to spoil, well, actually, I forget what movie it is, but like, he's a creep. He's like a stalker. And he was using Daniel, like so many horrible people use these kind of like pitying techniques to make them seem like the good guy. And so I'm like, oh, that is so interesting. Like, this is where his mind went to, is this farting, decaying corpse. And and it realizes that he's the creep all along. Like, as the audience, we find out he's a stalker. But the thing that makes me love the movie, and I think I maybe even stood up, is the corpse actually is real. And it is a farting, talking dead corpse that came from nowhere and is just like, bye. And then zooms away. Like, Paul Dano is still a creep, right? It's just that we've been actually following this corpse body this whole time. And this is who he decided to hang out with, was like a pervert stalker. And he's like, well, off to my next adventure. And then he farts away. He farts away into the ocean. And it's shot
really
beautifully. It's shot beautifully. And I'm like, this is the funniest roller coaster of emotions I've ever had. And I kind of wish that Everything Everywhere at Once, it didn't have that combination of roller coaster. It was all very, like, I get it. It's wacky. Like, there was like, oh, now you're a rock. Now it's a donut. Now it's it never, until the end, I honestly think Everywhere All at Once was like a dream, like a fever dream in a weird way, but it didn't have that, that right mixture.
Since you watched Swiss Army Man before, you came in with a different perception. I also think it's interesting that you like a movie about someone who is desperately sad and desperately alone, whereas I like the movie about the family and trying to have human interaction.
Oh no, it is telling. I don't think I'm a depressed weirdo, but I also am in a single apartment where I have a poster of a woman with like bandages on her. Yeah, like it's a funny poster. So maybe I am depressed, and but that was all the way back in 2015.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think
That was 8 years ago.
Yeah,
But
I watched Swiss Army Man about a month ago. I was in a very different. I do think the way that you described it made me like it a little bit more. Also, Daniel Radcliffe says this was his favorite movie he's ever been in. Was Swiss Army Man.
I agree. I mean,
these people took major, I'm sure, major salary cuts to be in this movie.
Paul Dano. Now,
I mean, Daniel Radcliffe is so good. I guess my issue with Swiss Army Man. First off,
you said you didn't like it, actually.
Yeah, I didn't like. I thought it was fine. I thought it was cute. I wouldn't. If someone said they really liked the movie, I wouldn't be like, "What?" I just definitely like Everything Everywhere more at once. More at once. Everything Everywhere all at once.
It's a hard one.
But Swiss Army Man, I thought, first off, the farting thing, I agree with you. What? I thought it was a little weird. I thought, okay, it was like, okay, obviously this is supposed to be funny, but like, it's going a bit too long, and like he keeps farting.
It was long,
and I'm like, yeah. I was like, this guy keeps farting, and it's like it's not getting any funnier.
Maybe that's the thing.
I'm just kind of like, but I did like the, I don't know, once it became clear that I'd say a solid 2/3 of the movie is Paul Dano just explaining life to this dead body.
Right, which
once
is very
that became clear, I was like, I get it. I kind of just was like, I get it. This is now kind of like, it's an interesting movie. You know, it's very strange. I like how I guess the fact that it ended with him being a creep, I was just like, oh, he was a creep. I just kind of like, it just somewhat like,
I think I also
I
like
guess I was kind
movies.
of like, I was so thrown off. Yeah, I think you like dirtier, grimier stuff.
Well, I like it.
You like the Toxic Avenger or whatever.
That's a good movie. Honestly, that is a good movie.
There's something about in like ultra indie movies. It just seems like you're only playing on things being weird, and that's it.
That is so funny because that is exactly what I think Everywhere Once is. Like, oh, it's a donut. No. It's a bagel. No, it's not a donut. It's a bagel.
Playing on things being weird.
It kind of is. Everybody's laughing that they're rocks. The reason why you're laughing and also feeling it's sincere.
Everyone's crying that they're rocks.
No,
it's not.
I was like, okay, it's rocks with googly eyes, and the whole gist of it. You know what? I'm gonna let you go, and I will come too.
Okay. Well, great. It's funny, but it's also sad. Like, it's also like just, it's deeply deeply sad. And the thing is maybe if we in Swiss Army Man, it's also like about human connection.
It is
during
funny.
like a chaotic
Doesn't
time.
The Rock
in
try to
someone's-
kill itself? Or does kill itself?
No, you're focusing too much on the bit. I think it's the whole point of that Rock scene was like, it's the one moment in the movie where it's just like,
Silence.
we're now in an alternate time point where everything is quiet and we're just being silent. And like, it's so silent, no one's even talking. It's just, whatever, the written text. And it's funny because you can actually hear people laughing now in the theater because it's the first time that it's just silence. And I just thought that was incredible. Whereas in Swiss Army Man, if they had trickled in the fact that he was maybe a creep a little bit earlier, and it wasn't just like at the end, it was like, and he's a creep. And it's like,
actually, they do rush into the creep thing a bit, but I think him explaining...
It's just an explosion.
But the thing is we have... it's almost kind of this... It tricks us into liking Paul Dano. And he's like, oh, Paul Dano's talking about life. Oh, I get it. And now it's like, we were rooting for a weird guy. Like, now I understand why he creeps.
But, like, the thing is, I guess I'm just kind of like, okay, he's a creep.
I like to be tricked
I'm just
like
like
that.
he's a creep.
I like that being of like,
you think I still felt for him. Because, like, the guy wants to kill himself. Like, I'm just like, this guy is still, like, deeply depressed.
But the thing I love the most...
And I still feel for him. Just because, like, you're showing me a creep doesn't mean that, like, Also, he wasn't... She didn't even recognize him. She was like, "Who are you?"
That's the thing. He's even he's one of the worst creeps. Yeah, he's a guy who's like I think I remember.
Yeah,
he found her on Facebook.
Extremely depressed and alone. Yeah, he's extremely depressed and alone.
But that
doesn't make him a bad. Like, the thing is like it. The purpose of the movie, I'm still trying to figure it out because it seems like you're focusing on like the bit.
I like the bit, and you know what? I think the bit's surrounded by...
That's fine.
It's a bit surrounded by me realizing what is wrong with maybe myself or, people like this who go this weird, like, sure, I have tendencies to be withdrawn, but I've not ever stalked some weird, like, okay, you know what? I'm not a creep, okay? Edit this how you will, Sam. But it's interesting. There are people, though, who do go this mile and have this excuse, who reserve in themselves, like, and hate themselves, but they keep doing it. But the thing I like is it is this grand, this kind of funny, like, take on human life. But then at the end, the Daniels just slap us in the face and be like, oh, he's just a boat. He's riding off. That was it. Like, it really did. Once again, it didn't really, the story didn't even matter. Like, this could have been something that we read on the news. Local creep stalks random woman. That's it. But this, like, something that they don't put in is farting Daniel Radcliffe rides off to another adventure. Like, we could just follow this dead body, kind of like a prop, like a EO or one of those donkey movies. I forget, Balzar. You know that movie where the donkey goes from one owner to the other, and it's like a story.
Yeah.
But just do that, but with this talking dead body.
My thing, Swiss Army Man. I just think it didn't know what it was, and I think it kind of was just I don't think it really was saying anything. Where Everything All at Once had an extremely simple message, but said in a chaotic way because life is chaotic.